Hi, I'm Celia Schilling from Yacht Club Games.
Hey, this is James from Megacat Studios.
Hey, this is Matt, aka Stormageddon, from Reignite, Screen Snark, and the Fun and Games podcast.
This is Stephanie from the Boss Rush podcast and the Boss Rush Network.
Hey, this is Mark and Keon from Bonte Avond.
Hey, this is Sebastian with the ProNerdReport.com and the Single Player Experience podcast.
Hi, this is Chris.
Mike.
And Garrett from Daylight Basement Studio.
Hey, this is Baron J67 from Level 1 Gaming.
Hey, this is Todd Mitchell from Code Right Play.
Salutations, this is Mike Carroll from Stroll Art.
Hey, this is Jeff Moonen from Fun and Games Podcast.
Hey, this is Patrick from the Backlog Odyssey.
Hey, this is Rune from Runic Codes.
Hi, this is Andrew from Spalato Bros.
Hi everyone, Jill Grote here from the Indie Informer.
Hey, this is Brimstone, and you're listening to Roger Reichart on the Gamerheads Podcast.
And welcome to another episode of the Gamerheads Podcast. My name is Roger. Along with me this week, we have... Hold on, I gotta pull up your music here. We have...
I want Phil's music.
Oh, do you?
Give me Phil's music. He's not here. I'm in charge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We have Mike. Wait.
Yeah.
What?
I get my music.
How did you get in charge?
I'm in charge now.
Yeah. How did that?
Look at me. I'm decapitated now.
Phil is not with us this week. Where is Phil? Does anybody know where Phil is?
Phil, yes. So here's what happened. So Phil called me today on my my flashing bat phone.
Oh, okay.
Which means it's an emergency.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Hey, Mike, I was on a mission to do a special preview of the next Duke Nukem game."
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So yeah, he had flown all the way to Kennebunkport, Maine.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. So
okay.
That's where it was at an undisclosed location on the corner of 7th and Western Avenue.
Okay.
Yeah, undisclosed, totally secret.
Totally
so
secret.
That's where he was. So he tested it out, but apparently, he tried to smuggle the 3x5 floppy disk that had all the information on it. To bring it back to us for because he cares about the integrity of the show.
Yeah.
And he wanted a scoop.
Obviously, integrity of the show, but not integrity overall. Like.
No. He says. That's his. He has it tattooed on the small of his back. It says # whatever it takes. So that's his. That's his thing.
How do you know that?
Because I tattooed it on him. I think. So after he hops into his white Ford Bronco, and after a high-speed chase.
Wow.
He was apprehended, and unfortunately, they took the Duke Nukem files back. So we're not going to. I apologize to our listeners. We don't have an exclusive on the next Duke Nukem game.
No.
But yeah, so I sincerely apologize. Phil will be out in 6 to 8 years, but probably a week on good behavior.
Well,
so we'll probably see him next week.
Yeah.
On good behavior.
I mean, I'm not sure if I'm proud of him or disappointed, because I mean, like, he was invited, so we would have got the scoop either way. But then, he thought he had to take it to the next level, which I'm, like, proud of him that he feels like as a CEO and president, he has to take things to the next level. But then also, like, he got in trouble. So, like, that's disappointing. But yeah.
Yeah. I'm more concerned that I don't think any of our computers have 3x5
yeah, that's
floppy
true too.
disk
That's true.
drives.
I would have to. I probably do have a computer in the basement. I have like 8 computers in the basement. I probably could get one running.
Right.
Yeah, but obviously, maybe next time. So yeah. Well, Mike, last week I wasn't here. None of us were here last week.
I know, I was gone too. So the thing is, I was called all the way out to Aurora, Colorado to do a preview of another game. It was the Beyond Good and Evil 2. And, so I tried to run out of there with the 5x7 floppy disk that had the files on it, and they caught me too. So I just got out there. I had to tunnel my way out with a old rusty nail and a bar of soap.
Well, I'm glad you're back. I don't have that much of I mean, you guys live exciting lives. I went to Florida for vacation. That's where I was. I don't know. So not on assignment or anything.
Yeah, that was your alibi.
Was I supposed to do something down there?
You were supposed no, you were supposed to be in Florida. That way you're absolved of any knowledge.
That's right. That's right. Somebody has to run this show if you guys are in jail. Like somebody has to continue the show.
That's right.
But can I tell you something really funny? I mean, you know the story, but I'm gonna tell the listeners. Listeners, I'm gonna tell you something really funny. So
that story.
So I'm in the airport, and there's like lots of people in this airport, and we had a 5-hour delay, which really kind of sucked. And we're flying a budget airline. I just want to make that clear. It's not like I'm flying, I don't know what a premier airline is, but I'm not flying a premier airline, right? This is a cheap airline. And so I'm sitting there, and what I do is people watch because I'm bored. And this guy, I overhear him saying to this girl, "Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm talking to a celebrity right now." Ugh. And apparently she's some kind of, I don't know, some TikTok sensation. I don't know. I don't follow this stuff. But he was trying to impress her, because then he goes on and on and on for 5 hours about how great he is. And like, oh, my family is a bunch of pilots, and we're all pilots, and I'm going to be a pilot too. And I really wanted to walk over and be like, buddy, first of all, you're nobody. You're flying a budget airline like me. And then I wanted to turn to the girl and say, you also are flying a budget airline like me. We're all flying a budget airline. But the other thing I wanted to go, and this is actually, I hope this person's listening. But if he's not, I hope other people that are in this predicament where you're trying to impress somebody, I hope they're all listening. This is my words of advice to all of you. When you're trying to impress somebody and you're trying to like win them over, stop talking about yourself. Ask them about them. My word, 5 hours of listening to this guy just ramble on and on and on about how great he is was so annoying. I wanted to throw up, but the poor girl, she had to sit here and listen to that guy the whole time. Yeah.
And you had every opportunity to jump in.
I should have saved.
But you're like, you know what? No, this is entertainment.
It was. Me, so I had 5 hours. I needed some entertainment. So, yeah. So.
Plus, it gave you some good material for the newest episode of Relationship Heads.
Well, actually, I was talking to my coworkers about this. I should start a podcast called Dating for Dorks. And give some sage advice like that right there. That's some good advice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, shut the hell up.
Yeah, just shut up. Just shut up. Don't say anything. Anyway, that's why I wasn't here last week, because I had to listen for 5 hours to this guy talking all about himself and what great, and he's going on. I'm like, I fly to San Juan. I'm like, you do not. You're flying a budget airline that's really cheap. Mike, I got tickets to go to Florida for $40. That's insanely cheap.
That is a good price.
Yeah. Well, that was after taxes. The actual airline flight was like $19, but then with taxes and everything into $40. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Was it the Wright brothers? Is that the kind of plane you were on? Like that old video where it folds in on itself when it lands?
It was the wrong brothers, actually. The wrong brothers, not the right brothers. No, it was, I don't plug, we don't get paid for this airline, so I'm not going to plug the airline, but it was cheap. But anyway, welcome listeners to the show. We're back. Welcome to our patrons as well, to to Jill, and to Matt and Mike.
Hi.
Listeners, you can also join our Patreon for as low as $3 a month. You can help support the show and get to have early access to things and get access to our Discord. all you have to do is click on that link in the show notes and join our Patreon there. Mike, do you have anything else? Like, I want to talk about the Game Awards nominees today because that was just announced this week. But do you have anything else you want to talk about before we get into that?
Yeah. Couple things I got to get off my chest.
Oh, yeah.
Number one, I'm happy that their strike is over because they started, they resumed filming Mortal Kombat 2.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited about
that. Yeah, I know
that.
you were excited about that movie.
Yes, so I'm very excited about that. And secondly, and if anybody is listening that can give me some wise advice, my Twitter is at PezGuyMike. But Roger, you can give me some good advice in this. I'm considering getting the MetaQuest 3.
Yeah. Oh, the MetaQuest 3.
The 3.
Oh, wow. That's you're gonna be up you're gonna be a step above me.
Well, and that's the thing is that, I mean, I'm gonna jump into VR, and that's gonna be my Christmas gift from the wife.
It's gonna be MR actually.
That's what now?
MR, mixed reality.
Oh, MR. I thought you said Emma.
It's gonna be
is
Emma.
That their Alexa or something like that? Who's
you,
Emma?
you log in and Emma's there, like hello, and you're like, who are you? Why are you here?
Oh God, not another one.
And then they try to like destroy you and kill you. It's really weird. Yep. No, MR as in mixed reality.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was the thing, is that right now you could get the Quest 2. I think it's like a Black Friday sale. It's like $250, and it comes with, it's like $250. It's double the price for the 3. So I've been doing some research. I've been seeing some YouTube videos and stuff of people saying, well, if you're really into VR and you really want to use everything that it's capable of, get the 3. Otherwise, if it's your first time, then just stick with the 2. But then I've also heard other people say the improvements over the 2 make it absolutely worth it in terms of your field of vision. And again, I'm really excited about that mixed reality stuff. That looks really cool, and that's something I would really like to try out. So
yeah.
My question is so much, number one, is the VR worth it? And number two, should a first timer go with the 3 or stick with the 2?
So I haven't played the 3, so I can't speak for the 3. But I thought I read too that they have eye tracking, which is pretty cool. And the mixed reality is very cool. The 2 is, so Quest has, or Meta, I guess, has now
same thing.
Same thing. They have now been focusing more on the hands-free controllers. So like typically you have to have our controllers, but now I can actually do hand-free. There was one game that I reviewed called Rogue Ascent. You can see our review on gamerheadspodcast.com. And that was the first game that I played that they actually used full, like that was the first game that I knew that that's the premise. Like you don't have to play without the controllers, but it's not as fun and it's not as intuitive. And what they did was just took your fingers, right? It's just a shooter, and you put your fingers out like guns, and it's really cool. But now more and more games are, and they're working on it more, like to allow the hands-free stuff. It still is kind of weird though, because like sometimes I'm like, okay, pinch, like I'm trying to open my menus, pinch, come on, open up. I will say I love my Meta Quest 2. I did try the PSVR 2 when I was at PAX. The feel of it was I like the feel of it, but I was also wired. So obviously I don't like that either. And I think I told you this, but I was like tripping over the wires because I'm just not used to it. I have a living room, a big living room, and I just, draw my circle and I can just walk around in my living room in that area. Right. And obviously when you get close, like I have it set up that it will tell you, hey, you're getting close, and I can see. But there's a lot of really good games. I got Iron Man recently for the VR. So you can fly around as Iron Man. I got Ghostbusters. I mentioned that last week.
The Ghostbusters one.
And there's some games. Oh, the vampire game that I'm reviewing, that Masquerade, the Vampire Justice. So that's really cool, and it's so like there's a lot of really fun games, and they're doing a lot of really great things with VR. I don't know. I think it's worth. I mean, I think VR is worth it. I can't really speak whether or not the 2 or 3 is a better deal.
If you had the choice,
yeah.
If you're like, okay, I'm going to spend less on this one, or I'm going to spend more on this one and double the price for the better experience. What's your recommendation?
So, if I had disposable income, that's the other thing.
Oh well, yeah.
If it was like, oh, it's fine, I can spend the $500, I'd get the $500 one. Like if I'd be like, yeah, I'm cool with it. If it was like, oof, that would just punch me in the gut really hard, I don't think I can afford that, then I would go with the $250. Like I think I paid $299 for mine last year or the year before. No, I think it was last year.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna get it, and I think I'll go with because I have at my job, like when you do like special things, they give you points.
Yeah.
And so I cashed in a bunch of my points, and I got $200 in Best Buy gift cards.
Oh.
So
yeah,
I think that'll defray some of the costs. So
yeah,
I think I'll get it, and then you'll hear about me watching all the playing all those Hentai games in 3D.
Yeah.
No, that's a joke. I'm not really going to do that. I'm weird, but I'm not that weird.
I know.
I draw a line at the weirdness.
I actually don't think you can even play those games on the MetaQuest. Like they don't have.
I wouldn't even.
Yeah, but I mean, no, I don't think that they even have. They don't like. It's not like Nintendo eShop where they have like, what is this?
That's not like, that's a shame.
I mean, I mean, I'm just trying to think of like, there's some really like. There's a new dungeon crawler. Oh, if you do get we have to play Ghostbusters together, and there's a dungeon crawler too, where they're saying it's like one of the best MMO, and you can people can pick a wizard or like a healer. Or
is that the one that comes with it? We'll talk about it later.
Well, I don't know. I mean, this is new. This is fairly new. The game just came out like maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. I can't think of the title, but it's a dungeon crawler.
In Resident Evil 4.
In Resident Evil 4, yeah, like
Tetris Effect.
Okay. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Now I want to go. I mean, I have my Quest sitting right here. Like I actually play it quite a bit. So, and the other thing that I mean, there's a lot of workout stuff too. Like I actually really, really like Beat Saber. Beat Saber is so fun. Have you played it or no?
Yep. No, but I hear good things.
Oh my gosh. And they're adding new music packs all the time. And that's really fun. That reminds me a lot of like Guitar Hero in a way, right? Like the craze of Guitar Hero. It's really that good. It's I think. And then there's Job Simulator. Job Simulator is really good. If you get a Quest, you have to get Job Simulator. That's really, really good.
Yeah. No, I play that on PlayStation VR. And my son really likes Rec Room. So he's like, I really want to play Rec Room, but it sucks on the PlayStation.
Yeah. All right. There's also like, you can watch movies and stuff like that and pay-per-views and stuff.
Yeah.
So
that's true. Yeah. That's big screen.
The Meta also has like their Meta World or something like that. And then I never go into there except for on Halloween. And they usually have like a movie. They have a movie theater set up and you could go in and watch horror movies. And it's really kind of cool. Watching that in 3D. And last year, I didn't do it this year, but last year they had one that was specifically for like VR, and like there would be moments where it felt like they were just coming right at you, in the movie. It was really cool.
That's cool.
So I don't know. I really like it. I will say this though, like I think I said this not last week, but the week before. Like there's no. In a lot of the games I've played on VR, there's no like lobby for like playing with friends and stuff. Like you just like the Ghostbusters game, you go to headquarters and they're like, "Hey, come play with me?" And I'm like, "Oh my god, why are you playing? You are like 6 years old and it's like midnight. Why are you playing games? You're supposed to be in bed." Yeah. And yeah. So like I have never experienced this, but I've read a lot of reviews of people saying like they would play online games and be harassed by people online and stuff. I've never been harassed, but this is, it's just like, it's funny because Nintendo goes the like 100% opposite way of like, it's really hard to play multiplayer with people on Nintendo. Right. But this one feels like there's no barrier. It's just open. And yeah. Anyway, I would say go for it. And you asked me. You asked me too of like, what about motion sickness?
Yes.
So when I first got the Quest, a couple games, not all of them, but a couple games did cause some motion sickness. But you can adjust the vision so that way it's not so like if you narrow it down, it doesn't cause as much, right?
Gotcha.
But the other thing that I found was like I would eat a lot of ginger, not a lot, but I would eat like a ginger chew before playing, and that helped a lot. So
all right, I'll have to grab that. And in the game's defense, I was playing Motion Sickness Simulator, so
there was the one.
Take that as
the one that really like actually made me feel kind of sick. There's a World War II airplane game, and what you have to. Some of the missions you have to take these bombs and like drop them, right? So you're taking them from your plane and dropping them. And I'm like pulling to the left and dropping them. And then I'm pulling to the right because there's planes fighting at me. And I was going kind of fast. I mean, fast for VR, right? That did make me feel like a little queasy. But like I played Iron Man and I had no problem with it. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to throw up with Iron Man. But I
got a little queasy playing Iron Man.
Oh, you did? Okay.
The demo on PlayStation. But yeah, I think I'll still look into it. I think I'll probably try to grab the 3 because why not?
Yeah. Well, you have to let me know if you get it.
I shall. You will find out in about a month and a week.
Yeah. Cool. Anything else you wanted to bring up before we talk about the nominations?
No, I think I'm good. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I got nothing.
Okay.
I have nothing prepared.
Okay.
You put me on the spot, Roger, and I got nothing.
Sorry.
That's all right.
So, well, let's go into some of these. So, I mean, this week we had the announcement of the Game Awards and the nominees for the Game Awards, and I think we'll end with like the second last one will be the Game of the Year discussion, and then also most looking forward to, I guess, or the most anticipated game of next year. But I just want to jump into some. We don't have to jump into all these categories, right? But some of these things, like I want to talk about best family game. Can we start there?
Go for it. Yeah, we'll just cherry pick some of the ones we find interesting.
So best family game.
Best family game.
Did you play Disney Illusion Island? Have you played that?
I'm waiting for it to go on sale, and then you know what I'm going to do with it, Roger.
Put it in your backlog.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right in the back.
I haven't played it either. I did play Party Animals though. Oh, I should mention that. Speaking of Party Animals, because I played it during our first Extra Life stream.
Oh, and speaking of which,
we'll have another one this Saturday.
Going on? And why is there another one going on this Saturday?
We had some technical issues, so we're gonna try it again. No, I got it resolved. We're gonna go again this Saturday from noon until midnight, and I have lots of incentive giveaways. So stop by. I'll put a link in the show notes for that as well. So stop by. You can follow that on twitch.com/Gamerheads Podcast. But one of the games that's listed here is Party Animals, and we played Party Animals on the stream. Have you played Party Animals? You didn't play with us, but have you played Party Animals ever?
No, sir, I have not.
It's an okay game. I mean, it's ragdoll physics and kind of King of the Hill type game, right? Where you're throwing people off and you can play with teammates. And Super Mario Brothers Wonder is listed in the best family game, where I think it belongs. We'll get into that a little bit later, but you like that game, right? I'm enjoying that game.
Yeah, it's a good game.
And I didn't play the other ones.
Pikmin 4 and Sonic Superstars.
Yeah, I haven't played either.
I think we both know what's going to win that. I think we can tell.
Super Mario Brothers.
This Mario's going to clean up on that one. Oh yeah,
I agree.
That's definitely
agreed.
I can't think of any other family style games that came out this year that would be better though.
Yeah. Can I say something about that though, with that being in a family category? Have you played this game with your family?
No.
Okay, so I have been playing it, and I love my family. my son is super enthusiastic with this game, but he charges full on. He plays Yoshi. Yeah. And he gets the crown. So when you play multiplayer, somebody has a crown, which means that's the person that determines how far you're going to go in the game, right? Like your speed, basically.
Right. The leader. Like that, yeah.
And he just goes poof, not looking for any secrets, not looking for any wonder seeds, just poof. And how many times have I died because of him, like, just trying to get through the level? It is a Souls-like game playing with that kid. I'm telling you. Which made me just laugh when I saw this in family. I mean, yes, it's a family game, but it probably has my... There was a couple of times where I said to my son, "What are you doing? Stop!
Slow
down! There's a seed! We got... Oh, okay. Well, forget it. I guess we're not going for it. Just keep going."
Did you throw your controller?
No.
At all? You're like, you know what? I'm done.
No. I just give him a hard time. But he's fun to play with. He really is. And yeah, it is a fun family game. It's unlike the other new Super Mario Brothers games, because in those, like, there's collision physics with each character, and you can run into each other, and you can actually, like, hurt each other and, like, stomp at each other's head. The one thing is he plays Yoshi all the time, and actually it's really fun to see Mario in elephant form riding Yoshi. That is hilarious. And he just cracked up when that happened. I mean, he just laughed and laughed. So no, that's gonna win for sure. I agree. Best fighting games is another category I was interested in. Did you play the Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2?
No, but I was watching some people play it on Twitch, and it looks pretty tight.
Yeah. I heard good things.
Yeah, so I heard good things too. So, but honestly, this is going to come down between Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter.
Yeah. I wonder if Mortal Kombat will have a struggle, though, because of the Nintendo port of the game.
No, I don't think so, because at least they got one, whereas Street Fighter 6, they didn't even bother.
Well, yeah, I guess.
I mean, maybe if you really think about it, maybe they shouldn't have bothered with Mortal Kombat.
That's what I was going to say.
But I mean, but I don't know. I have thoughts on that. Like, they could have made Mortal Kombat 1 really great for the Switch if only they had changed the art style and not tried to get it to match the graphics level of the PlayStation and Xbox.
Yeah.
Like, if they had made it like a totally different art style, like almost like cartoonish.
Yeah.
I think that it could have been
cell shaded or something.
Number one, it could have gone some kind of different art style. So that way, it's not a downgraded version, but it's its own version.
But I played Mortal Kombat 11. That was the previous one, right?
Yeah.
I played that on the Switch. I thought it was fine. It looked fine. No?
Sorry, I'm just remembering.
Did they have the same issues?
It didn't have... Okay, so it didn't look as nice as a PlayStation 4 and Xbox version. It ran smooth. It ran at a nice 60 frames per second. There was some slowdown, and there was like in the fatalities, there was some slowdown, and there was some the audio wasn't syncing.
Interesting.
With the fatalities.
Yeah.
What you were seeing, and the hair was atrocious. Like, if you look at a comparison, and I know it's like so minor, but like when I'm like, especially when I was seeing like Terminator's hair, it's just like, it was just bad.
Really?
It was just bad. Like, it didn't mess with the gameplay, but it was like, oh, geez, this is ridiculous.
I will say, though, like, I think I got it for like $9 or something like that when it was on sale. So I didn't spend a lot of money on it, and I didn't play much of it either. So, but I agree. It's probably going to come down to either Mortal Kombat or to Street Fighter 6 in that category. I just can we stop on the best RPGs here? Like, one game that I was...
Go for it, man. It's actually, I am the CEO, so I'm going to make the decision on this one.
That's right.
And my decision is, yes, you can go through the best RPG.
Good. So...
But you have 3 minutes.
I have 3 minutes.
Me 3 minutes.
Okay. So one game that I was surprised that didn't make into the Game of the Year discussion was Starfield.
A lot of people for the game of the year. Yeah, a lot of people are pretty salty about that.
Because I mean, Baldur's Gate's gonna win here for sure. I'm a little surprised that Zelda isn't in the best RPG category. I mean, it's in the best action adventure games.
Yeah, it's less of an RPG now and more of an action adventure.
Yeah. But I think Baldur's Gate will win the best RPG, or maybe Sea of Stars. I don't know. That'll be an interesting one. Best action adventure games. Boy, Alan Wake 2, Spider-Man 2, Resident Evil 4, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, which I don't think is going to win, and then Legend of Zelda. That is like a game of the year grouping.
That is, yeah. Well, it's people are saying that 2023 is like the best year in gaming since like 97, 98.
It's crazy.
So
it's crazy.
A lot of amazing games came out this year.
What do you think is going to win that best action adventure? I think I think Legend of Zelda win, and here's why. Because
I think Zelda is going to win it as well. Go ahead.
Well, because I don't think they're going to win Game of the Year. I don't think it's going to win Game of the Year.
Yeah.
Nope. So I think this is where it's going to win.
Well, we'll talk about Game.
Yeah.
But I think Zelda will take it. Yeah.
Best action game. The only one I played in that is Hi-Fi Rush, which I really liked. But Ghost Runner.
I think Hi-Fi is going to take that.
Well, a lot of people are really high on Ghost Runner 2. I haven't played it, but I will say we actually have some incentives for Ghost Runner 2 giveaways during our Extra Life event this Saturday. So we hit certain milestones. We're giving away Ghost Runner 2. Couple of those codes for Steam. I haven't played it, but did you like Hi-Fi Rush? Did you play that one?
No.
Oh, that's very good.
But I've watched people play it on Twitch.
Yeah.
And I love the animation in it.
Yeah, it's very good. I think that wins it. I think it's going to win. It's either be Ghost Runner 2 or Hi-Fi Rush, I think. Best VR we just talked about is VR AR games. Gran Turismo 7? There's a VR game of Gran Turismo 7? I didn't know that.
Sure.
PlayStation.
Yeah, these are all look like PlayStation stuff too. Well, the Resident Evil Village VR mode, I think that's also on Quest. I'm not sure. But I don't know. I haven't played any of these, so I couldn't tell you. But hey, if Resident Evil can take it, I'll be happy about that because I love me some Resident
Yeah.
Evil.
So maybe they've had this category before. I just don't remember. Best debut indie game? I never heard of that.
This one's going to be tough because all these games are good.
Oh my gosh!
I mean, I keep hearing amazing things about Pizza Tower. Like Pizza Tower is like an old school Wario Land game.
Mm-hmm.
Feels like, I guess.
Yeah.
But I gotta give it to Dredge.
Dredge is very good. Cocoon is very good. Venba, have you played? You didn't play Venba. I did. It was that's a very good game. Very emotional game.
Where you is it? Okay.
It's the cooking game where you are.
Oh yeah. You streamed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one where I was telling you to do all the things that would ruin somebody's relationship.
Yeah, right. Because there's a lot of it's a narrative cooking game, and it's a very emotional game. And then Viewfinder, I haven't played it, but I heard good things about it. So that's it. That's a really good category. And then speaking of which, the next best indie game too: Cocoon, Dave the Diver, Dredge, Sea of Stars, Viewfinder. Wow.
I think Dave's going to take that one.
I think so too. Maybe Cocoon. I don't know. So that's exciting. I'm going to skip over this community support and ongoing games.
Yeah. Games for impact, innovation.
I'm going to skip over a lot of these here.
Yeah.
Best narrative. Let's go there next. Best narrative. Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Cyberpunk 2077, Phantom of Liberty. I heard really good things about that. Final Fantasy 16 and Marvel Spider-Man 2. A lot of really heavy hitters here again.
My money's on Baldur's Gate for that.
Yeah, me too. I think maybe Alan Wake 2 might give him a run for them, but I'm not sure. Best adaptation. Like, this feels like another new category. I forgot.
I think they did something last year.
Oh, did they?
Not sure though.
So Castlevania Nocturne, have you watched that yet or no?
I don't have Netflix. I got to find another way. Cough, cough to get it. Yeah, but no, I haven't seen it.
Okay. Gran Turismo, I don't think that's going to win. The Last of Us and Super Mario Brothers movie, and then Twisted Metal. I think it's going to come down to The Last of Us and Super Mario Brothers.
It's definitely going to be The Last of Us. Look,
Really?
I enjoyed the Super Mario Brothers movie. I did, but we're talking. I'm thinking of all the people that are voting for this.
Yeah,
a lot of those industry people are, have their noses up in the air. Oh, it's such an artful, amazing. It's such a it's whatever.
Yeah.
They're gonna give it to Last of Us, which I watched the season of The Last of Us and I thought it was good. I had no problem. I enjoyed it and everything. As long as they didn't have a whole lot of clickers in it. There were a couple.
but
it
not many.
was more about the people.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think they were loyal to the original story, which was great. I love to see that. That's what I like to see when I look at my video game based movies. Keep it just like the game.
Yeah.
Don't get me started on that Welcome to Raccoon City movie. Not get me started.
Best game direction. Last of Us. Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Marvel Spider-Man 2, Super Mario Brothers Wonder, Legend of Zelda. I like to see that both Mario Brothers Wonder and Legend of Zelda are in the best direction, and then I don't know. I feel like Legend of Zelda is probably gonna win this one.
I'm gonna put my money on Alan Wake.
Oh, for best game direction, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't know. I just feel like Legend of Zelda, the reason I think that is because of how innovative that the physics breaking ability, the abilities you have with your hand, like that's crazy. Like I still can't fathom how they did that without breaking the game. You could do so much with that. It doesn't break the game. That's crazy. Like to me, I think the only other one I would think is like Super Mario Brothers Wonder, only because of like the fact that the levels change when you find a Wonder Seed. Like how cool is that? Like designed a whole new level, right? Like I think that's really neat. Yeah, it's gonna be a good category. And then a game of the year. We have one more category I'll talk about yet. Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Marvel Spider-Man 2, Resident Evil 4, Super Mario Brothers Wonder, Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. So I'm gonna say this. I like Super Mario Brothers Wonder. I don't know if it belongs in the game of the year contention.
I'll agree with you on that.
I think it got the hey, you're new.
It's a new version. It's a Mario 2D side scroller. That doesn't mean it's bad. It just means that it's similar to every other 2D Mario side scroller we've played. It's not being, that's not bashing it. That's not saying it's bad. It's just saying it doesn't. I mean, granted, you could say that Spider-Man 2 is the exact same thing as Spider-Man 1, but with a new story.
Yeah.
You could say, definitely say. You could say people are upset that Resident Evil 4 is on here because it's a remake.
Yeah.
But I hope Resident Evil 4 wins, to be honest with you. Yeah, it's a remake, but it was built from the ground up.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I mean, it's such a great game. You should play it. And that's not like Be Afraid of Scary Games. It's not a scary game. It's an action game with horror elements. That's it.
Yeah, you keep telling me that.
So
yeah, believe that.
I keep telling you that. Yeah, it's not.
No, yeah.
I am the CEO today, so if you know what's good for you.
That's true. That's true. I also think that because Super Mario Brothers Wonder was just released not that long ago, I think that it also has the benefit of that as well. I think if it was released earlier this year, I don't know if it would be on this list.
Right.
But who do you think is going to win? I think it's going to be Baldur's Gate 3.
I'm putting all my positive vibes towards Resident Evil. Okay. So not only do I want it to win, I also think it's going to win.
Well, that's wishful thinking.
That is very wishful thinking.
I would have said,
say I'm the king of wishful thinking.
Yeah, I would have said Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom was a no-brainer. It was going to win, but then Baldur's Gate 3. You know what's really funny about Baldur's Gate 3? Do you remember when it was in early access? I remember it was early access. It was rough. And it was like, oof. Yeah, it was like, I don't know about this. And they took a lot of feedback. They did a lot of changes. And like, I have not played it yet. Because I'm waiting for it to come to the Xbox. But I am really, really, really excited about playing this game. And then the other category I just want to quickly talk about is most anticipated games. This is the games that are coming out next year. We have Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Hades 2, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, Star Wars Outlaws, and Tekken 8. What's your pick here?
My pick? Metroid Prime 4. The game that's been in the works since just about as long as that Duke Nukem game that Phil for that one, I don't know. Star Wars Outlaws looks, from what I've been hearing about it, looks awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say Star Wars Outlaws because I was kind of waffling between that and Hades 2.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go with Star Wars Outlaws.
Yeah, I'm the same boat. I'm gonna go with Hades 2 just because you went with Star Wars Outlaws. If you would have went with Hades 2, I would have said Star Wars Outlaws. They're neck and neck for me as well. So so that's coming up on December the 7th, isn't it? So
yes, Thursday the 7th at, I can get a time for you. No, I can't. I'm assuming it's 7:00.
Yeah, I think so too.
Your time,
my time,
and 7:00 my time.
Yes, agreed. Yeah. And just show some show notes here on the 14th of December, so a week after the Game Awards show, we are inviting our friend and 80th time special guest Jill Grote, the Indie Informer, back onto the show. And she's actually going to be at the Game Awards, and we'll talk about the best indie awards or best indie games with her. But then also I want to ask her some questions about the Game Awards as well. So look forward to that. Some programming notes there. So this is going to be a shorter show because Phil's not here. Phil actually runs the show. Like, people, I know they know he's a CEO, but when he's here, like it's magic, you know.
I'm a poor man's Phil with my abilities as a CEO. I'm the I'm the airline that you took.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You're normally $19, but with taxes you came to $40. So yeah.
I'm the $40 flight version of Phil.
That's
I'm the $40 flight Phil.
Yeah, that's right. Let's just quickly talk about games we're currently playing. I'll start, Mike, if you're okay with that.
Yeah, sure.
So I mentioned Super Mario Brothers Wonder. So we're on World 3 now. And we got to the airship, and that was the one that I was like, there's the Wonder Seed. Where are you going? There's the Wonder Seed. You know, the airships, they just keep moving too. And he's like, well, just go back. And I'm like, you can't go back on an airship. They keep moving. So we beat the airship, but we didn't get the Wonder Seed. So I'm like, guess what we're doing again, kids? We're going back again.
Gotta go back and do it again.
Yeah. As much as I say, like, I'm giving my son a hard time. I love playing games with him. I really do. But he plays as Yoshi, and there is that world in World 1, or the level in World 1, the Bull Rush, that's the Wonder one. When I played that solo, I struggled hard with that one. But if you have a Yoshi with you, buddy, just stay on the bulls and we'll fly to you when we die. It made it so much easier. We've been playing that. We've been playing the new tracks in Mario Kart. So I mentioned how my son has been playing a lot of games. He's been playing that with me. He's actually very fun to play that with. My youngest also wants to play Mario Kart. So I put on the automatic acceleration and steering for her, right? Because she would fall off the tracks all the time. But my son doesn't have those.
Right.
And he comes in second. There was a couple times where he was in first for a while, and then I passed him up. But he's very competitive with the Mario Kart, which I'm very, very pleased to see. But my daughter is so funny, Mike. When she comes in, she'll come in like 8th place or something, and then she'll turn to me, "Who did I beat?" And I said, "Oh, you beat Metal Mario, and you beat, Bowser and Bowser Jr." And she's like, "Kicked your butt." baby Bowser. Hearing a 3-year-old say that is very funny. And then, and then the other game I'll just mention here that or two more games I'll mention, but one with the kids, playing Splatoon with my son some more. He is, again, really good at that game, and he is so fun to play because he'll say, "Follow me, Dad," and he just like rushes in, and he does really well. Like he like takes out a lot of people. Now he doesn't play the way that you're supposed to play, right? Like he wants to just take people out, and I'm like, it's all about painting area. Don't worry about the people. Get them when they come close to you, right? But cover the area. And like he's like, why are you always in first place? I'm like, because I'm playing the game the way it's supposed to be played, right? Like focus on area coverage. Don't focus on the people. But he's been having a lot of fun with that, and it's really fun to play with him on that game. And then the last game I'll talk about is a game that I'm reviewing, and I'm hoping to get the review up this weekend. Is called Ebenezer Scrooge and the Invisible World. I think that's what it's called. So you play as Ebenezer Scrooge, and it's a Metroidvania type game, and you are a good guy. So this is after he gets visited by the 3 ghosts. Turns out in this game, in this world, so you are trying to help. You're trying to help this guy. He's a ghost, and he comes to you and he says, "Hey, a friend of mine is a good person." And he got visited by the 3 spirits because he started going bad. But then a really bad spirit showed up and said, "Don't listen to those 3 spirits. You can do this and not have your soul being damned," right? And so he went really dark, this guy did. And that's the whole thing, that you have to stop him from going really dark. But boy, there's a lot of people that apparently like died and are ghosts in this world. And now you have to like help them. And so it's a Metroidvania, and what's cool about it is that there's some side quests, like there's a main quest, but then there's side quests, and the side quests usually unlock ghosts for you, and those are your special powers, and each ghost has special abilities, which is really neat. And then you can pick up heirlooms that give you special, like it gives you bonuses to your character, and you can pick up different weapons and such. So I really like the art style in this game. This art style is fantastic. Oh my gosh, it's so gorgeous to look at. It's all hand drawn. It's so beautiful. And the premise is really cool. Like I wish they leaned more into the narrative of it, because I think there's a lot here. The things that I am struggling with is, one, like in Metroidvanias, I get that there are times where you have to go back to areas because you find a new weapon, and then you have to go back and.
Well, that's not. There is not times. That's one of the foundations.
You're right. But there's side quests in this game, and when you'll run into a character and says, "Hey, can you go find a pocket watch and then bring it to this girl in this area?" But there's nothing on the map that shows where these people are or where this is.
Oh, so it's you have to be lucky.
Yeah. And it makes it really hard.
Yeah, that's it.
A lot of fetch quests I struggle with that. The other thing that I struggle with this game, I wish I mentioned this just a minute ago in passing, that I wish that they would focus on the narrative of the game more, because I think the narrative is really good. I think that they really leaned hard into the whole, we want to be Souls-like, not only just Metroidvania, but Souls-like. One hit against these bosses and you die. It is super frustrating. Yeah. It takes all the fun, all the joy of like this really cool like narrative and this really neat twist on Ebenezer Scrooge and Charles Dickens stories, and just kind of like put a bad taste in my mouth. So I'm working on my review for that. I'm going to finish that up, and I'll get that posted to Gamerheads Podcast.com.
Cool.
So that's what I've been playing. What about you?
So I also played a game and I reviewed it, and it is also up on GamerheadsPodcast.com. And that game is Berserk Recharged, which is a remake of the original arcade and Atari game, made by Atari, and it's basically exactly like you would think. It's the arcade game with it's faster. It's got a fresh coat of paint. It's got a couple more features, but it's still kind of bare bones. When I wrote in my review that as much as the game was playable and enjoyable, and especially if you're a fan of the original Berserk, you would love this game. There could have been more.
Yeah.
There could have been more to it. Like, I would have loved to have seen some of the history behind it.
Oh, that would have been so cool.
Like documentary video or the old instruction manuals or the old arcade flyer, photos, anything like that. No, it's just you can play the game, or we have 20 different challenges that you can do. There's leaderboards. I'm going to give it that. Great idea. Have those leaderboards in there to keep people playing over and over again, because it is just like an arcade game.
Yeah.
That's the point, is to get the high score in the arcade game. But it kind of felt, I don't want to say unfinished, but there were some things that had me kind of scratching my head. So, like, for example, when you die, there's no death animation at all. You don't blow up.
What?
It doesn't say. Yeah. It immediately cuts to a black screen that has game over in your score.
Oh, interesting.
Like, sometimes you don't even know it's game over until after the screen pops up. You're like, whoa, I got hit? What the? All right.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
So, if it had a little bit more time in the oven, I think it could have been a lot better.
Yeah.
But having said that, it's still an enjoyable game. The game works. The controls are fine. I'd say it's best suited for those that love the original arcade game and just want to kind of relive that.
What did you?
It doesn't even have the original ROM. I would like to have the original
that'd be cool.
ROM.
Yeah, it's fun because and I know this wasn't made by an Atari, but I did review Karateka, and they had a bunch of the original Karatekas in there. That was really cool. And then they had the remake too. Okay. What did you end up scoring this game? Do you remember?
I gave it a C. Yeah, good game. Not terrible, but could have been better. So C. I think a C is fair.
I will say,
remember, C is not bad.
It is $10, so that's reasonably priced. So
I talk about the price in the review.
Yeah. I know. That's how I knew it was $10.
I'm telling the listeners.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go read the review on gamerheadspodcast.com. That's right. Anything else you've been playing?
Playing some Fortnite. I got back into it because they brought back the original island, and it was so much fun. I'm like, I remember the giant chair.
Yeah.
I remember the graveyard. Oh my gosh, I remember. Oh, I'm dead. All right, let's try it again. Oh, I remember the toilet factory, and I remember the what was it, Lazy Links, the golf course, and I'm dead again.
Yeah.
Haven't even landed yet. So so I've been playing through that. So that's a lot of fun. I've been playing through Fall Guys again because I really like this new season because it's all food-based skins.
Okay, I gotta play more. I gotta get the season pass. That sounds fun.
Yes, so that's, I'm having fun with that as always. So Fortnite and Fall Guys again. Been playing more Mortal Kombat. We got my son and I got the Omni-Man character, and he's been labbing with Omni-Man, and he absolutely loves Omni-Man. He's doing so.
Do you know that wasn't voiced by the actor from the show though?
Are you sure? It sounds exactly like him. Are you sure you're not talking about
I'm talking
Homelander?
I'm sorry. You're right. Homelander. Okay. I'm talking about. You're right. That was not voiced by the same actor. Even though it looks like
he said no, but the character hasn't been released yet, so you never know. They could be trolling.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah, so I've been playing a lot of combat. They just released a new season for the invasions mode, so I'm unlocking a whole bunch of really cool zombie-like skins for all the characters.
Cool.
So that's a lot of fun. And of course, I've been playing Mario Wonder. I'm in the second world right now, I think it is. Sky World or Ice World. I don't know.
Oh, no, I think that's the third world, because the plant world is the second world.
It said W2.
Oh, maybe you're right. I think the plant world is the transition to that Sky world.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So, been playing that, and then that's it. I'll be honest. I started Gears of War 3.
Oh, you did?
I made it through the prologue, and then fell asleep. I'm just playing, and I'm like, ugh. And it wasn't the game. The game wasn't boring. I was just so tired. I'm like, I got to play new games so I can talk about something new on the podcast other than Mortal Kombat and Fortnite. I got to play the guy. Yes.
You know, it's funny, Mike. That happens to me quite often. I'll sit down and I'll be like, it's like late at night. The kids are finally in bed. I'm gonna sit down and play some game. And I have this recliner and I have a big screen TV, and I kick up my recliner, and then the next thing I'm like, oh crap, I fall asleep.
Yep. It just
getting old sucks, man.
I just missed an entire cutscene.
Yeah.
And then I got really sad because then I remember when I used to sundown to sun up Halo 2 online. I wouldn't even break a sweat.
I know.
Sundown to sun up, and then once my 30s hit, then I was like, and now I'm just like, I hate everything.
Have you hit 40 yet? Have you hit 40?
Me? I'm 44. I mean, I'm in my 30s.
Yeah. I'm gonna be 47 next week, Mike.
Ooh.
Yeah, next week Friday, actually. Yeah, so we'll have to have a birthday celebration next week.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Went down to Chicago. I'm still upset about that.
What?
Oh yeah, I just landed in Chicago. I mean, you're not coming to pay me a visit?
I would have if it was.
Bring the
if
family.
It was just me. If it was just me traveling, I would have. I would have.
Yeah.
Plus, my dad drove down to pick me up, and I felt so bad because he didn't know about because we didn't know about it. Because he has a 2.5 hour drive to pick us up, and by the time we figured out that there's going to be a delay, well, he already left, and he sat in the airport. My poor dad sat in the airport for 5.5 hours.
Is that $19 flight worth it then?
To me.
Well, that's all that matters.
Right. But yeah, he was very nice about it, and he. He said, hey, you know what? I got to help some people, like help this lady, like push her stuff out to her car. And I was like, that's just my dad being a good guy, because that's what my dad does. Like, he's a better guy than me. All right. Well, I guess that's the show. Before we head out, Mike, how can people find you on social media?
Pez Guy Mike on Twitter.
Yeah. And listeners, you can find us on Twitter at Gamerheads Pod. You can find us also on Blue Sky at Gamerheads Podcast. You can find me on Twitter at Nintendo Raj. And then finally, you can go to our website at gamerheadspodcast.com, where you can hear this show and hear other shows, and then also read reviews. And just again, plugging this again for a reminder that Extra Life is happening this Saturday. Our event is happening this Saturday again. We have lots of incentives. Some of them are physical, so those I can only ship to the US, or only will ship to the US because it's expensive. But there's a lot of game codes that we also have as incentives, and a lot of Steam codes and some Xbox codes. So if you even if you donate like $5, and we make that cut for the incentive, like the milestone for the incentive, you're entered to win a chance to win one of these codes. So join us on Saturday, starting at noon Central Time until midnight, at twitch.tv/GamerheadsPodcast. And I'll put the link in our show notes as well. Mike, thank you so much for joining us this week, or joining me this week.
Oh,
it's not us, just me.
I had fun. See, I don't know. I got nothing. Yeah, thanks. I'm glad to be here.
Phil, I hope that, if you're listening to us in jail, I hope that you enjoyed the show.
Nobody said it was jail.
That's true.
Never said he was in jail.
We just didn't know where it is.
Yeah, he's previously
yeah. I just assumed with good behavior that meant he's like somewhere that's detaining him, but hopefully he is out next week. And listeners, thank you so much for giving us a listen. If you like what you hear, leave us a review. We want to hear what you have to say about the show. Until next week, everyone. Wow. Stay safe and game on. Bye.
So long.